Longhorn chassis builder Kevin Rumley hinted that there will be some big changes happening in the super dirt late model world as we wind up the 2024 season. Specifically, he hinted that Anthony Burroughs, SSI Motorsports crew chief, who he describes as the best crew chief in the business, will be departing SSI Motorsports at the end of this season. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at John Trent Racing. I wrote this up over at stockcarreport.com. You can find the link in the description below if you'd like to read yourself. But Rumley did an interview with Kenny Wallace over on his YouTube channel, and he described Burroughs as the best in the business when it comes to crew chiefs. And he was asked if he would be moving teams at the end of the season. This is what Kenny specifically asked. He says, "So now, Anthony, from what I hear, are these crew chiefs staying still, or are they constantly leaving teams and going to the next team? What's Anthony going to do?" So I think Kenny actually caught himself there, was going to basically give away that Burroughs was leaving. And then he kind of turned it into that question there for Rumley to kind of answer. And Rumley did answer. And this is what he said. "I think you'll see some dominoes start to fall here as the point seasons are winding down. So I think we'll work very close with Anthony in the future." So I think that's very clear that Burroughs will likely be leaving SSI Motorsports and will probably be going back to reunite with Ricky Thornton Jr. at Kohler Motorsports. That would not surprise me in the least. Obviously, you've got a former SSI guy already there, their tire guy. He left SSI and went with Kohler and Ricky Thornton Jr. I think it was in August, because I don't think it was specifically in July. I think he joined a little bit later, but he did indeed join them. So I would not be surprised if Burroughs reunites with Ricky Thornton Jr. at Kohler Motorsports. Obviously, Chris Madden was the crew chief through 2024 for Ricky Thornton Jr., but that deal was just for the year, and Madden was going to be pursuing some other ventures that he has for 2025. So I fully expect, based on what Rumley is saying here, that Anthony Burroughs will be leaving SSI and probably teaming up with Ricky Thornton Jr. at Kohler in 2025. What is interesting about this then is what happens with Hudson O'Neal. And obviously there have been rumors that the SSI Motorsports team might actually switch from Longhorns to Rockets. But we have heard Hudson O'Neal basically talk about how he made friends for a lifetime with Rumley and his family. He posted this on Facebook. He says, "Made a tough decision this past March to walk away from the #1 ride in the country. We were very successful, but sometimes big checks and money isn't everything. Walked away with no what's next plans. Kevin Rumley called immediately when he heard the news. We were just racing together to have fun and keep my feet wet. Not really sure what it was going to lead. Thank you to the whole entire Rumley family for stepping up for us. We made friends for a lifetime." And then obviously Rumley was featured in the image collage that Hudson or his team posted to that social media, obviously in one of the top ones right there, clearly speaking with Rumley. So Rumley did discuss this. He was asked by Kenny Wallace, will Hudson O'Neal stay in that car? And will he run slower? Are they going to? And I mean, if Anthony leaves, what's he going to do? And this is what Kevin Rumley had to say. "So Hudson O'Neal was one of my favorite drivers to work with this year. We found some success winning 2 races and running very well at the Dream. So we consider him family. So we'll make sure he's well taken care of in the future. He's going to be a bright young star. He's 23 years old. And if you talk to him, it's like he's 23 going on 50. So as he matures as a driver, he's going to be very good." So that seems to kind of refute some of the rumors that we have heard regarding maybe SSI switching from Longhorns to Rockets. Maybe Hudson O'Neal is out at SSI too and finds a home at a team that is running Longhorns. I'm not really sure. Obviously, like I said, we have heard these rumors that SSI might switch to Rockets. It first popped up on my radar from Justin Fiedler over at Dirt Tracker. He says, "I do think this is a team that could be in play for a chassis change. SSI was a Longhorn team with Ricky Thornton Jr., and O'Neal spent the rest of the season in Longhorns after going through various teams after leaving Rocket. But I've heard a few rumblings about this one, and O'Neal has had significant success in Rockets in his career. A move here would not shock me." Fiedler was not the only one to share that information. I actually reached out to Super Dirt Late Model Insider Racing Jason, and he informed me that he also heard that SSI Motorsports was looking to switch to rockets from Longhorn. So obviously, Racing Jason and Fiedler do have solid track records when it comes to these things, but hearing what Rumley's saying does cause one to think, well, it does sound like Hudson O'Neal will stay with Longhorns. Maybe there is a potential kind of bidding war happening between Longhorn and Rocket. Unclear if that is happening. But to me, when I hear what Kevin Rumley is saying to Kenny Wallace, saying we'll make sure he's well taken care of in the future, that does sound like that they're going to try and keep him in a Longhorn, depending on whatever team that happens to be, whether that's at SSI or not. So I think there will be some big announcements happening here in the future. Obviously, I think concerning Anthony Burroughs, but also potentially with Hudson O'Neal and SSI Motorsports, at least based on what we were hearing here from Kevin Rumley in his interview with Kenny Wallace, which I highly recommend you checking out. Fantastic interview, covers a lot of stuff, but definitely recommend watching it. But in the meantime, let me know what you guys make of what Kevin Rumley had to say here. Let me know in the comments below.